Good morning. Again, not morning, but I'm starting my day. It's a cold one out here today. I got some hot chocolate. I got some hot eggs. But I won't be out here long. If the weather keeps up like this, I won't be able to eat breakfast on the porch no more. I'm feeling better today. The sickness seems to be on the tail end. Still got a bit of a cough, but I'm feeling less out of it. A couple fun things. I just found a set of markers that I'd been missing for maybe a couple months. They were my favorite markers, and I missed them very dearly, and I finally tracked them down today. They were in my camera bag in a pocket that I never really used that much, so it's understandable that they were hidden away for so long. But I'm glad to have them back. And then another thing, I was going through my camera lenses, just looking at the stats on them. I don't know what you call it, the specifications, and trying to figure out like what's the most open aperture, like the best f-stop I have on a lens that can also zoom, like trying to figure out objectively like what's my best, brightest lens. Just trying to figure out like what I want to use going forward. And I was looking through some of my old lenses that I haven't used in a long time, and I found a C-mount lens, which is like a really weird, like small screw mount. It's not like a traditional DSLR mount. So I have a C-mount lens like that is 11 to 110 millimeter, which is basically, it goes from really wide to really zoomed in. Like I always use this one. This one's really good. And this one is like 18 to 45. So that's like pretty wide to like pretty zoomed in, you know? Well, for reference, so this is 15 millimeter and this is 45 millimeter, which is a pretty good range for like how bright and how sharp this lens is. But this other one that I found that I haven't used in literal years is 11 to 110. So it goes way wider and way tighter than that does. Although the numbers are a bit skewed because those numbers they're tied to, it's calculated based off of the relationship of, how wide actually goes compared to the sensor that the lens is intended for. And so since C-mount lenses are intended for a smaller sensor, for like security cameras and older stuff, the numbers are a little skewed. So I suppose if it's projecting an image onto a smaller spot, it's even wider than that in theory. So instead of 11 to 110, I don't know how far off it is, but the numbers are a little lower, so it goes a bit wider. But anyway, this lens is like really bright. It zooms wider than that. It zooms closer than that. It's brighter than that one. It's just super cool. And I haven't used it in forever because when I first bought it, I didn't know anything about cameras. So I didn't know this lens was as good as it was, because when I started like getting into cameras, I just bought random lenses on eBay. I would find random vintage lenses for like 25, 30 bucks and just buy them and see how they work. And when I tried that lens on with my adapter, it was always out of focus. And so I thought something was wrong with it. I thought that the focus racking, whatever mechanism that pulls the glass back and forth for focusing, just didn't work. What it was in reality is that my adapter was positioned a little wrong. So the lens just should have been maybe a millimeter farther from the sensor. And that's the difference between being always out of focus and being in focus, because the difference, like the amount of how far away it is from the sensor, matters a lot. And I didn't know that until I bought that tiny little mini lens, because that lens is literally one piece of glass and you spin it to focus and it just moves the piece of glass farther forward or back. And in the full range of motion, to go from like focusing here to focusing on the horizon, it moves like maybe half a millimeter or something. So it's really precise. Like the spacing has to be perfect. And not all of these adapters are setting the lens at the correct length. And so it had worked for one of my C-mount lenses, but not this other one. It was at the wrong spacing. And so I assumed something was wrong with it. I took the lens apart just completely to try to like understand what the mechanisms on the inside of it were, and why the focus wasn't working. And I just never put it back together. And that was like 5 years ago. And now that I kind of understand how these things work, I was looking back through it, trying to figure out how to piece it together, because it's just a box of lens parts. And I started to put it back together, and I realized, like, in putting it together and just trying to like hold it in one piece as I have it on the camera, like, this thing is like the best lens I have. The problem is I don't know where I put all the screws. I know I put them in a little box, but I don't know where that box went. So I'll have a little quest to complete of trying to track down those screws and then figure out how to reassemble the thing. But once I do, that's going to be like my go-to lens, I think, which is exciting that like I've had this around for forever. Like, it costs me nothing to fix it, and I'm going to get like a really sick tool out of it. And there's a little quest, a little story behind it. So like, once it's fixed, I'll feel like more attached to it, you know? Because it's like, I put this thing back together. And also, I must have bought it for like $30 a couple years ago. I was looking them up now, trying to find the same lens. And they're like $200. And they're really rare. Like, there are two of them that I can find for sale. One of them is like new in box for $250. And the other one is broken, and they're asking like $120 for it. So it's interesting. I really want to fix it now and get it working, because that's going to be awesome to have. So yeah, just a couple little exciting things. And I'm feeling better, feeling a little less overwhelmed, trying to take pressure off myself. Pretty much everybody that I've talked to about my stress and pressure and everything I've been talking about the past couple days, everybody has said that I just need to take pressure off myself, which is like what people have been saying for years. Like, everybody knows I put too much pressure on myself. I know it. I gotta give myself a break, you know? I walked around town last night for like 2 hours. I walked like way out there in a giant circle and came back. I think I walked like 4 miles or something. I don't know. But I feel a little better, a little more grounded. Just trying to get on my feet, do what I can, you know? And get ready for the dunes in a couple days. Finish painting the Tucson behind me. The hospital demolition continues. I watched a giant excavator shoveling out metal and stuff earlier today. So they're digging away, they're getting it down. I can still see it over the trees for now. The question is, will the building fall first, or will the leaves of the trees fall first? Because right now the trees are almost blocking what's left, but if all the leaves fall off, we'll still be able to see what's going on. But I wouldn't be surprised after I leave town, once I come back on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, if that top floor is gone. I'm going to try to get back to breakfast with Bev's, just being on the porch, eating breakfast like it was originally intended. Something John told me that's a good thought is to just stick to your morning routine, even if it's not morning, even if I'm sick and I sleep in until like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Just start the morning routine whenever you wake up. Because it's really easy to count the day as a loss when I wake up late and just like lose the routine, and then I have to make it up to, you know, just have to pick everything up as I can. And I think it will be healthier and more sustainable to try to keep a morning routine even if I don't wake up in the morning, you know? Just do what you can. Ooh, that's a very cool Mercedes. I don't know the old Mercedes that much, but the back said 350 SL. It's a nice old one with the drop top. He's riding topless, even though it's cold as heck out. Anyhow, that'll be it for today. I will see you tomorrow on the porch again. Morning routine, baby. That's all.